Hi, I'm Clea. I am your freelance copywriter and content marketer here to get you noticed and get you leads. Now, today I am going to have a chat about this presentation that I gave on stage a few weeks ago. A couple of people have said they'd love to hear more about it or have a copy, and so I thought I'd just record it quickly so you can check it out yourself. So what we're talking about today is 7 steps to write copy that AI search engines like Google's AI overviews and ChatGPT love. So we all know AI is here. The cat is out of the bag and there is no going back. But what we have right now, as search shifts, the way people look for answers shifts, the way people are given answers shifts, is an opportunity to make a few changes, update your systems and workflows, think strategically, and leapfrog the competition. So I am going to be walking you through the content side of things in this presentation. This is a kind of condensed version of what I spoke about on stage last month. The first thing you need to do, though, before you get started is have a chat with your web developer and make sure that the technical back end of your website is optimized for things like SEO and GEO or AIO or whatever you want to call it, so that you've got the technical elements in place to show up in search results. All right, let's get started. When I was researching this topic, I did a little experiment. Who is the best copywriter in Sydney, Australia? And what do you know? Google is naming me, not in every single search result, but I've tested on a few different browsers, a few different people, and I'm definitely coming up, even in this example, ahead of Kate Toon, who is basically the Madonna of copywriting in Australia. So sorry, Kate, for putting that arrow over your name. Don't hate me. I think you're amazing. But so how did I do this? How did I manage to push myself up in these search results? Well, the answer is quite simple. I wrote an article. I did this very mindfully with a lot of touch points, and I'm going to run through how you can create your content so you start showing up as well. So the first thing you need to do really is know what people are searching for. So there's no point ranking for best copywriter in Sydney if nobody's searching for best copywriter in Sydney. So we are using tools like basically putting some things that you think are relevant into Google and seeing what else it suggests. You can use Ubersuggest, which I'm a big fan of, or SEMrush, just to see what people are looking for. And think about the questions that they're asking. As well as Best Copywriter Sydney, people are going to be asking ChatGPT, how do I find a copywriter, or how do I choose a copywriter, or even who can help me make sure this job is done professionally. So think about those terms as well. And then go and ask ChatGPT, ask it who it recommends. Look at Google, look at who it's surfacing, and ask ChatGPT why it's recommending those people or businesses that are your competition. And then the next thing you do is say to ChatGPT, hey, why didn't you recommend me? So when I was researching my article, it mentioned that my competitors had a lot more experience with big brands, which I do have, but maybe I haven't highlighted that in my website. So it was definitely something that I was mindful of when I was creating the content. Once you have your topic and you're comfortable writing about it, or you have a copywriter who's briefed in, make sure that the content is written for humans first, kind of at around a level that a 10-year-old could easily read and understand it. Now, not saying people don't read above that level, they just kind of can't be bothered when they're on the internet. So keep it very simple, very easy to understand. Content that is really obviously hugely AI generated, as in write this article, copy, paste, publish, is going to actually start being penalized because it's very obvious. It loves to use words like navigate. It loves to use words like complex. It loves the M dash. So take out those dashes, take out those smatterings of emojis that don't kind of look like they're in the right place. Make sure it is interesting and relevant for somebody to read. When you're doing that, you also have to add in your elements, your markers that are talking to the machines. So think of Google and ChatGPT and Claude and all the other ones as smart but lazy. they need to get to the answers as quickly as they can. So you need to have headings clearly marked in your articles, H1, H2, H3. They need to be properly labeled so that people can understand them. Add some bullet points in your article as well, and this will help make it easier for the machines to skim. Now, the next thing to be aware of is, as well as using your keywords, we're talking about something that is called entities. So let's say you're a tax accountant. The entities you're going to speak about in your article might be business activity statement, might be GST, might be annual tax return, might be the ATO. And when you mention the ATO, you're going to be linking out to something. You're going to be referring to some sources, some statistics, some other research, and sending a link out to that page. This is just showing that you are an authority on this topic, that you understand it in depth as well as in small detail. And it's just, again, telling the search machines that that you know what you're talking about. So a tool that I use that really is helpful with this is called Surfer SEO. I'll put a link to it in the comments. But when you use that, it will actually suggest the different entities that you need to mention. Heaps and heaps and heaps. You can never fit them all in, but it will send you in the right direction. So we've got our links going out to the ATO or the Bureau of Statistics, or, an article from The Guardian or the ABC. We're also going to be linking around our own website. So make sure you're linking to relevant pages within your website. Make sure you're linking to relevant articles within your website as well. So again, this is showing the machines that you've put work into your content. You've put effort in, and that it's not just a standalone article, that you know a lot about this. So this is all playing into that EEAT, that kind of expertise, experience, authority, and trust that Google recommends all your content has. You're establishing yourself as someone who knows. You're telling the readers and you're telling the machines that you are the authority in this subject. So another way to really boost this, which is really helpful, and again, proving that you're just not copying AI generated content, is to attribute an actual person or a department within your business as the author of the article, and have a couple of lines at the bottom that explains who they are, and maybe links to a page about them or links to some of their other content. This is really helpful if you want to show up in search results. Make sure, before I go on, make sure you're talking from experience as well. So things like what we found was, or in our experience, or an example from our business is, or my business is, or what I've learned. Speaking from personal experience, again, is just upping that kind of credibility factor, which is so important if you want to show up in AI and ChatGPT search results. The other thing we're doing once your article is written, and ChatGPT can help you do this, is topping and tailing. We're going to have around 5 bullet points at the very top of the article. So you have an intro, and then you'll have a little summary with boom, 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 something really easy for the machines to understand and surface. And at the end, we're adding in those extra things that people ask. What are they saying to ChatGPT? What are they saying to Google? And we're putting some FAQs at the bottom, which is a really good other opportunity to get some more internal links and include those entity words and terms. So that's pretty much it in short, but there's a couple more things that I want you to do. Obviously, a furniture removalist can't write an article about why they're the best copywriter in Sydney. They're not going to show up. They're not going to rank because it's very random. It's standalone. So we need to kind of spread out. Your Google business profile is a really good opportunity to do this. Make sure you're asking people for Google reviews. Make sure all your information is up to date. That's basic SEO housekeeping. The other one is building your digital footprint beyond your site. So of course, this is posting on social media. This is creating YouTube videos that include a link that goes back to your site. And this is guest posting for your clients or your partners or your referrers so that you can get the link back to your website, or putting out press releases. If you're writing interesting content, send it as a press release. You never know when you're going to get a backlink from the media, which is very, very powerful. And the last thing, again, positive SEO housekeeping. Make sure you're measuring and checking. If you have Google Analytics on your website, you should actually be able to go in, Google this and you'll figure out how to do it, but you should be able to go in and see how much traffic is coming from different sources and ChatGPT is probably going to start being one of them. I checked my website the other day and it's kind of edging up to 10% of my traffic, which is pretty impressive, and it's happening very quickly, and it's going to be happening more and more throughout 2026 and 2027. So my last little point, all you have to do is be better than the competition. If they've built a 5-story building, you need to build a 6-story building. So that's just about adding that extra little bit beyond what your competition is doing. It doesn't have to be 100% perfect, because sometimes when you're trying to achieve that, you find you just wear out and you can't make it happen. So have a look at what the competition's doing. When you've written your article, put it in ChatGPT. Say, would this make you recommend me? And it will give you some bullet points of what to add. Or, of course, you can reach out to a copywriter who has a lot of experience and has been doing this for a lot of clients for a long time. You've got my details there. I would love you to connect with me on LinkedIn or Instagram. I love a like and a follow. I would love a tag and a mention. And if you'd like to reach out for a little bit more detail or a review of how your site's performing at the moment, or some fantastic content to make sure that you are front and center on every search engine in 2026 and 2027, please get in touch. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next clip.